Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or your father was right. You were an idiot and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over the top gore? Check. Over embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Okay, welcome to the I Remember Like That Movie podcast. We are going back to 1982. We're going to watch Beastmaster.
Yeah, we are.
What do you remember about Beastmaster?
So little, it's ridiculous. I haven't seen this movie, I think, since the 80s. Pretty sure I saw it on TV in passing. I literally barely remember anything about it. Like, I was unsure if I had actually seen it until I looked at some stills and I was like, this looks really vaguely familiar. But I think I was literally like a kid.
Right. Me and my friends loved it. This was I did love the sword and sorcery, Conan the Barbarian, the sword and the sorcerers, all of them. The real to the bad, to the good. Actually, I don't know if any of them were actually really good. I think Conan was the pinnacle of that's high as it got. But although Beastmaster, we'll get to the box office, wasn't like a huge success, it was a joke that Dennis Miller on his HBO show said that HBO stood for, hey, Beastmaster's on, because it ran on HBO, TBS, and TNT a lot. Like, apparently, I guess someone joked that they bought the movie rights for like $10 or $18 or something, because it was on a lot. And I remember, yeah, it was on a lot, especially like TBS and HBO.
Yeah.
I probably watched it in full from start to finish a handful of times, but I do remember watching bits of it.
Yeah.
A lot, like 10 minutes in, 20 minutes to go, halfway through. All right, so let's start with the box office for Beastmaster.
Yes.
It was released August 20th, 1982. It had a budget of $9 million. That's not bad for 1982.
That's pretty high for 1982.
There was a great write-up on it where they said it was not a bad budget and none of it was spent on clothing. They are so scantily dressed.
There were a lot of loincloths, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. It opened at 4th place behind E.T., Friday the 13th 3D, number 3, and An Officer and a Gentleman. It had a weekend of 2.955 million, so almost 3 million, and a total of 14 million.
That's
so
impressive.
Did okay.
Yeah.
And it was on TV a lot. I remember me and my friends rented it when it was at the store. Yeah, so I'm sure it did okay.
I believe it did. It did fine.
All right, let's go to the tail of the tape. Beastmaster, 1982, is an adventure fantasy. It is rated PG. Oh, there's no boobies in a PG movie.
Oh no! What shall ever you do?
I don't know. And I think it's Tanya Roberts, is it? Who's the mom from that 70s show? Donna Pinciotti. Midge Pinciotti. I had such
Tanya
a crush
Roberts
on
was
her.
in this one.
Yeah, she was in like Sheena.
Yeah, she was Donna's mom.
Yeah, she was Donna's mom. She was in Sheena. She was a Bond
Yeah.
girl. And it comes in at an hour and 54 minutes.
That's a lot of movie.
It's a lot of movie. Taglines.
Oh, jeez.
Seeing this, if people are, we'll get to this when we're at the poster part. I feel like buying a van and having this put on the side of it.
Oh my God, you want to be that guy?
Oh, now I do. I don't care. My kids might
Oh, they'll care.
when I pick them up at school. The epic adventure of a new kind of hero. I don't even think that's even grammarly correct. The epic adventure of a new kind of hero. Yeah, well, it's not.
Yeah, but it's terrible.
Oh, is that? Oh no, born with the courage of an eagle, the strength of a black tiger, and the power of a god.
That's these are terrible.
Those are the only two.
This is such an indication of what's to come.
Yeah, synopsis. Dar, that's his name, Dar, Marc Singer, an ancient warrior with the ability to communicate telepathically with animal allies, sets out to stop the crazed plans of an evil high priest named Max, Max with two A's, and save his buddies, friends. Says friends, but it's like, and save his buddies. This sounds like a fucking 12-year-old's on the spot story in a creative writing class.
God, it's so accurate.
And here's the poster. They're
Mhm.
born with the courage of an eagle, the strength of a black tiger, and the power of a god. For those listening, that's up top. It has a ring with an eye on it, an eagle in the background, Gar, Marc Singer, holding a sword. That, I guess, is Tanya Roberts. Typical, very scantily clad,
Yeah.
and then a black tiger. They're all sitting on a rock. Oh, that would look great on a van. And then underneath, the epic adventure of a new kind of hero. It's very of its time.
It is. It is very of its time, and I mean,
It's
chances
not a
are after
horrible.
this movie came out, this probably was on the side of a van
Yeah,
roaming around town
yeah.
playing some hair bands because, you know.
It's weird because these movies were never huge in the box office, but I
Mm.
remember there were a lot of them, like on video,
Yeah.
because in the 80s, there were a lot of these swords and sorceries and dragons and
I also feel like in the 80s, a lot of studios and even producers, they were just there was more money available to them to
yeah.
produce stuff. So they were just doing a lot. There was a lot more output.
And it was popular. Obviously, there was a popularity to it. Dungeons
Yeah.
and Dragons was really huge in the 80s.
Mm,
Was it not?
it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let us go to Rotten Tomatoes. 14 critics reviews. It's at 50%. 7 liked it, 7 did not. 25,000 audience reviews comes in at 54%. So a little more liked it than did not like it.
Honestly, that's higher than I thought it would be, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, when I first saw it, I'm like,
I'm like,
I thought it was gonna be a lot lower.
yeah, I saw those numbers and I was like, wow, that's pretty high.
I think Beastmaster is on the higher end of these sword and sorcery movies. That's not saying it's a great movie, but I know there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of them not that good.
I like that. It's on the high end.
They're probably good, but not for what they wanted. Like they're like
Yeah.
just bad good. All right, so let's start with the fresh. You may start.
I am ready.
All right.
An okay time killer when I was 11 years old. Chuck O'Leary, Fantastica Daily, original score 3 out of 5. So
The
optimistic.
Beastmaster is a film shot through with love for the genre. James Evans, Starburst, original score 8 out of 10.
That was nice, James. This film has ferrets up to here. Action cinema is so often coy about the portrayal of ferrets on the big screen, but the Beastmaster breaks taboos, never panning coyly away when ferrets are introduced, instead focusing in granular detail. Eddie Harrison, filmauthority.com, original score 3 out of 5.
As soon as I started going into Beastmaster, I'm like, right, the ferrets. I remember the ferrets, and they're awesome.
Didn't the ferrets act like a spy for him?
Yeah, he would hold them up, I remember, and talk to them or make like
Yeah.
clicking noises, and then they'd run off and go steal something for him or look
Yes.
at something for him.
Look, I remembered something.
Yeah. This film has
This film has ferrets up to here.
what the Beastmaster lacks in luster and expense, it more than makes up for it in sheer guilty pleasure enjoyment. Scott Weinberg, Apollo Guide, original score 74%.
Okay.
All right, here come the rotten. You may start.
A kid-friendly version of Arnold Schwarzenegger's grown-up guilty pleasure, which really sort of misses the point. Rob Vo, Mania.com, original score, C.
Extra goofy, but basic cable couldn't survive without it. Rod Thomas, Capital Times, original score, 1 out of 5.
Dang, Rob.
Yeah. This is all about when the original reviews came out in 1982.
Okay.
So go ahead.
I'm ready. According to Variety, the film opened to mixed reviews. Gene Siskel of the Chicago Tribune gave it 2 stars out of 4 and wrote that it isn't bad as much as it's overlong. After one of the film's major bad guys has been bumped off, the film inexplicably goes on for another 20 minutes. In this sort of brainless adventure film, one climax is enough. Vincent Canby of the New York Times thought the film was neither better nor worse than Conan the Barbarian and looks both big and cheap. Variety wrote, when the Beastmaster begins, it is very hard to tell what it is all about. An hour later, it is very hard to care what it is all about. Another hour later, it is very hard to remember what it was all about.
Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times called it a veritable comic book adventure come alive that succeeds on its own merits. Tom Milne of the Monthly Film Bulletin found the film marginally livelier than Conan the Barbarian, but criticized the very basic acting of the appalling post-syncing, the sets which resort to disconcertingly, ramshackle models, and direction of supreme stodginess, which predictably uses helicopter shots to illustrate the Eagle's spying missions. When all it sees, as a rule, is the hero prancing on hilltops in self-conscious martial arts poses.
It's a little harsh.
They didn't have drones back then. Well, the fact that they use helicopters.
I mean, I'm sure once we see it, we'll be like...
They're probably like, yeah, helicopter shot.
Yeah, helicopter.
That's horrible.
I mean, especially if you see, like, the shadow of, like, the
helicopter and the blades going, that'd be awesome. All right, IMDb. There were a couple really good ones, so there are some honorable mentions in this one.
Okay.
All right, so out of 25,000 user ratings, it comes at 6.2, so a little bit higher than...
That's not bad.
Yeah. You may start.
Thank you. Best of its genre, I think. 10 out of 10, Doc Allen.
A distinctive icon in 80s filmmaking. Quit laughing. 10 out of 10. Adam J. Sherman.
The most fun you can have with a sword and wild animals. 10 out of 10. Sorry.
So those were all 10 out of 10. So bad it's great. 9 out of 10. Mr. Nevercold.
Hugely enjoyable sword-swinging fantasy fun. 8 out of 10, B.A. Harrison.
Eagles and tigers and ferrets. Oh my. 7 out of 10. Mark Waltz.
The B Movie Master. 6 out of 10, Fluke Skywalker.
The Cheese Master is what it should be called. 5 out of 10. Smells like cheese.
That's good. Master of Beasts, but not of cinema. 4 out of 10, Gavin 6942.
Just plain dumb. 3 out of 10. Cabbage Custard. His name's funnier than his name.
Cheesy effects, terrible makeup, absurd costumes, worse acting. 2 out of 10, Chris Bedford.
It deserves to be forgotten. 1 out of 10. Philip Manuel Neto.
Yep.
All right.
Wow.
So we got a 50-50 split. Some good, some bad.
Yeah. It's about even.
Yeah. So the only thing left to do is to watch the trailer and make our predictions on the Beastmaster. Here we go.
I'm ready.
It was foretold by witches. It was conceived through sorcery. And it was to be destroyed by all that is evil. But the courage of one mortal saved it. And so, into an age of darkness, in a time of mysticism, sacrifice, and plunder, there came the only light, the Beastmaster. Born with the strength of a black tiger, the courage of an eagle, the power that made him more than any hero. More than any lover. He was lord and master over all beasts. He was the Beastmaster. Behold the wonder, the horror, the fantasy, the challenge of the one warrior they call the Beastmaster. Marc Singer is Dar. Tanya Roberts is Carrie. Rip Torn is Mayak. John Amos is Seth. Together, they take us on a fascinating journey back into unexplored times. Conquer your fears. Face the unknown. And discover the incredible link between man, animal, and all that is phantasmagorical. In the world of Dungeons, Dragons, and Dar. The Beastmaster. The epic adventure of a new kind of hero.
That looks awesome.
That hair. That hair.
Oh, I didn't see
So-
one dragon.
No, but apparently we're going to talk about them. The Dungeons and the Dragons.
Yeah. I saw a dungeon, or what looked like a dungeon. I didn't see no
Kind of look
dragon.
like a dungeon. I don't. Oh God, this is going to be so bad. I just hope it's so bad it's good.
Yeah.
And I walk around being like, you need to watch this movie because I can't believe it happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Dar.
Dar.
Wow. Yeah, I think it looks looks pretty cheesy, but in a
So
fun way, hopefully.
Hopefully. I mean, there was some action moves. There was some sword play. There was some very bad 80s hair, which is always nice. Apparently, there's also child sacrifice.
Yep.
Odd, but okay. Yeah,
Tanya
no,
Roberts looked like she was almost about to lose her clothes, but I don't think she really
no,
does
I
in the
don't
end,
think she
no.
loses them. No. I'm sorry.
Mm.
I know.
Rip Torn of all
Rip
people.
Torn, isn't it? John Amos. Yeah, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like something.
Yeah, that was there were choices made.
Yeah, Janet Jones is in that movie.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
She's one of the witch women
She's one of the witch women, yeah.
who has all that makeup.
Makeup on. I think they had the makeup on to look their faces all, but I think they're in slinky stuff, yeah.
Well, of course they are, because
Like, why would you hire Janet Jones to like cover up her face?
oh my God.
All right. Well, we are going to go watch Beastmaster, and when we come back, we are going to review it.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
Boop-a-doo. How's it going?
It's going okay. How you doing?
All right. How do I get this fucking thing?
Oh, we're off to a great start.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Can you
that's
hear me? Am I
Yes,
coming through?
Yep, I hear you.
Okay, cool. I don't think can I hear me? I think I can hear me in my mic, my earphones.
All right. Holy shit. Wasn't that something, kids? Eagles and tigers and ferrets. Indeed. Did you watch 1982's The Beastmaster?
Oh boy, did I ever.
Your initial thoughts.
This is one of the shittiest movies I've ever seen in my life. It was so bad, but not so bad it was good.
So you're thinking that it's up there with Steel Dawn?
Yeah, not as bad as Steel Dawn, but pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. What are your thoughts? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, I made a crack at the synopsis that it was written by a 12-year-old, like writing his fantasy story. This was shot like a 12-year-old. And that 12-year-old was like, I don't care about continuity. I don't care about dialogue or effects. We need to see titties. And we need a hero swinging his sword on top of a mountain or rock formation like all the time.
He did that so many times.
For no reason. He needs to sporadically appear on a mountain swinging a sword.
Okay, one of my thoughts, because I was like, why does this seem so familiar? Why does this seem... And then I realized, I'm like, this movie is playing like an elementary school production of this movie.
Yeah.
Just exactly that. And I can tell you right now, John Amos was the only one that I was like, why are you acting like this is a real movie? You're the only one.
Yeah, because this movie is bad, but it and I argue, is it bad like Steel Dawn, or does it take its place like Grizzly or Anaconda? Actually, I don't think you liked Anaconda. Like
I didn't like Anaconda.
No, I did.
No,
but we agreed on Grizzly was so bad. Like
Grizzly was so bad. It was good.
But it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Steel Dawn was just so bad. This is somewhere between Grizzly and Steel Dawn. Now, it has the potential. Look, if I was super drunk and I had a bunch of friends over, this would be a so bad it's good. When you're watching it by yourself,
because watching it with friends, this could be a fun movie.
Oh yeah, because you've got someone to riff off of. There was no one there. Every time I was like, dramatic much? Why is he only making sounds for the hawk, but he speaks to every other animal in English?
Yeah, like
why can't he talk to the horses?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, well, let's go through this land of mythology and bad dialogue where there were dungeons, but the trailer lied. There were no dragons.
None whatsoever.
But I did forgive it because I really thought there was no boobies. And there were.
I was surprised by the boobies.
Not just Tanya Roberts in one of the best scenes in the movie, but other boobies too. Tons of men boobies. So totally equality. Actually, I think it was more one-sided, the amount of man boobs compared to female
also
boobs.
The amount of asses. Because every man was wearing either a
so many
loincloth,
asses.
And every time they moved, you're like, butt cheek, butt cheek, butt cheek, more butt cheek. Why does nobody have pants?
As soon as I saw John Amos, I'm like, damn, I see John Amos's ass.
Right.
And it was right out there.
It was just out there for everybody to see. He had his ass out.
Okay, Wikipedia doesn't have a ton on this. So I did peruse it because it was very short. Like it was very small. So I had to add a couple notes to remind myself to talk about some stuff.
Okay.
Because this movie, there is a ton that happens, but nothing happens because of it. Or stuff happens just because.
Yeah. And there's no real explanation for anything.
No, not at all.
None. You're just like, oh, so this is happening now. Oh, okay. What?
And if I pronounce something wrong, I apologize to people listening. And you're a big fan of Beastmaster.
I don't think the Beastmaster stands are going to get him.
In the kingdom of Aruk.
Yeah, that's how they pronounced it in the
Is
movie.
It? Okay.
Yeah.
Witches tell high priest. I thought it was Max. It's Mayax.
Oh, yeah, right.
Because I made fun of him. Like they just call him Max. It's still stupid, Mayax, but whatever. A prophecy that he will die at the hands of King Zed's unborn son. Mayax sends one of his witches to kidnap and kill the child. But before she can, a villager rescues the child and raises him as his own son in the village of Umur. Okay, we have to go back. Mayax is with his bitches. And they're like, this kid is going to kill you. And he's like, fuck, I'll just kill the kid. The king busts in and is like, I hear you're sacrificing kids and shit. And Max is like, yeah, that's right. Like, he doesn't even deny it.
I mean, accurate. Yeah. That's exactly what happens. He's like, yup.
Yeah.
Okay.
My God wants them. And then like the king's like, you're banished. And Max is like, I gotta kill one more kid. And the king's like, the fuck you do. Then like Max is like, the kid I gotta kill is your unborn son. And the king is like, go ahead.
His plans out there. Just putting his plans out there.
Yeah. And he's like, I can have you put to death for talking shit about my kid. Then, for no reason, the two priests that are with Max take these grappling hook things, throw them into the ceiling beams, and then hang themselves.
I did not understand that.
I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Well, for a second there, I was like, oh, it's probably so he doesn't tell him about the prophecy. But I was like, he just admitted to what the prophecy is and what his plans
The whole
were.
prophecy's out there, all the plans.
So I'm like, what? Why would you just like they're two of your followers. They could have helped you fight your way out if that was, but no, apparently he was like, no, I'm going to get like taken.
I'm gonna put this over. Yeah, I was totally baffled about this. I'm pretty sure not pretty sure. I I thought this was cool as a kid. I'm sitting there watching this going, what's going on?
Yo, the grappling hook wire thing was cool.
It was very cool.
Cool.
You could have came up with a better reason though.
Yeah.
Because their reason is nothing.
Their reasoning is
nothing.
They got a nod from Mayax.
Yeah.
For no good reason. Like they got a nod. So they were like, now it's time to hang ourselves.
The king, even if the king was like, I gotta know your plans, and Max was like, fuck you, and he's like, well, we'll get it from your priests, and the priests were like, whoosh, and then hung them. That
would make sense. That would make sense.
Oh yeah. Also, can we address the elephant in the room? Who the fuck decided to make Rip Torn's nose look like that?
You noticed it too?
Like it was
something's wrong with his face.
It was probably Rip Torn. Like he was a loony bastard. But
well, yes.
Like he read this look like I'm a cartoon villain. I need a nose like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Well, no offense to Rip Torn. His nose isn't small.
As is.
Yeah. Like unaugmented, his nose is not a teeny tiny, like cute little button nose. So I was like, I don't understand because nothing else about his face was different.
No.
It was just the nose. So then I was sitting there and I was like, this feels mildly anti-Semitic because a lot of, no, for reals. Because I was like, this is odd that the only thing you change is the nose. And in a lot of Nazi propaganda, whenever
they would, nose.
And it was the nose to denote Jewish people, they always made it extra large. So I was like, Rip Torn, your nose is already not small. It did not need to be made bigger. Why was that the choice? Like, why was that? We need him to look like a villain. Let's make his nose bigger.
Yeah.
It feels a little anti-Semitic. And I'm not saying that was the intent from the director or the filmmakers, the producers, or even Rip Torn himself. I'm just saying it feels hinky.
So the king arrests Mayax, but let's the three nightmare-looking witches go. Like he lets them go.
Yeah,
right.
Smart, because that's what you want. You want three witches.
Yeah,
with smoking hot bods,
bodies,
jacked up faces.
Yeah,
just running around.
And Mayax looks at them and winks so openly and blatantly. Like the guard is like, I think that motherfucker is up to some shenanigans. Like the king is like, he's banished. That's enough. We're good.
He's like, it's okay. We're going to take him out of here. It's cool. It's cool.
So, of course, the sexy witch, who is horribly disfigured or whatever they are, shows up, cracks open some of that rave glow sticks and pours it on the queen's neck and then on the king's neck. And
okay, but can we throw in here? She walks into the king and queen's bedroom
with
a fucking farm animal.
Yeah, I have that. She walks in with a cow.
And I'm like, and nobody fucking clued in. This woman, disfigured face, smoking hot bod, half dressed.
Just walking through the castle with a cow.
And nobody fucking clocked that. Are you kidding?
Why is that witch walking around here with a cow?
Right?
Yeah. No. Yeah. And I'll bet, having watched this movie in its entirety and it's being 1982, both those actors got some sort of rash from that liquid.
Oh, 100%. It was
I'm
probably
pretty.
radioactive.
They
Yeah.
were scratching and had a very horrible
Yeah.
rash afterwards. So
Years later, I'm sure they were wondering why they got like throat cancer.
yeah. So the witch transfers the baby from the queen to the cow. Not a bad effect, actually.
No, the effect was pretty decent for 1982. I was like, I'm not mad at that.
No.
The reasoning behind transfer, I'm like, why didn't you just cut the baby out? Like,
Yeah, they're helpless. They can't do anything.
They can't do anything. They can't move.
They
She's gonna die.
I don't think they can scream because you think you would yell for the guards by now.
Right? So they're completely immobilized. I'm like, why didn't you just cut the baby out now?
Yeah.
But no, she put it in the cow.
Yeah, the rave juice is already on their neck. But yeah, puts it in the cow. Now having the baby inside, they leave. She goes to a field, starts a fire, cuts open the cow, takes the now 2-year-old child. The kid was huge. Some farmer walks by and likes, you don't see that every day. And he goes in to take a look, sees the witch from behind and like, hey, good looking. How about a BJ? And then turns around. He screams like a 10-year-old girl, like, take that, you ugly bitch, and runs her through. Actually, she flips his sword up and he catches it and then just stabs him. Stabs her.
She brands a piece of, I think, leather.
Yes.
And then she brands the baby on the palm of his hand.
On the palm of his hand, yeah.
And with apparently the royal symbol.
Which was a very shitty symbol, by the way.
Right?
Like anyone could have made that symbol.
It looked like an incomplete capital A or a really shitty capital H. Like it was just, it was terrible. Anyway, so she does, and then she's about to, I'm assuming, kill the baby. Mm-hmm. We don't know because we can't see anything other than her lifting the knife.
Yeah.
And we're looking at her from behind. So I was like, I can't even see what she's aiming at.
Yeah.
Is she going to hit the leather? Is she going to hit the baby? Like why did she like brand the leather? I don't understand. And then that's when Farmer John apparently decides I'm going to bust her ass up.
Yeah. And I love and most of these effects, if you're looking to film anything, you can watch this movie and you can do all these effects for like no money.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And it's not hard to figure out how they did it.
No.
You pretty much can guess how they did it. And it was and she cackles and laughs. And I thought she was coming back, but we never see this one again.
No, apparently she's gone when she gets thrown into the fire.
Yeah. And just cackles, and that's her last words. She cackles.
Yeah.
I think they all do when they die in this movie. So the farmer takes a child home. The whole town. He gets to it. He gets to a hill and looks down on his village, and it looks like he is either standing beside a miniature or a painting. Either is equally horrible and awesome at the same time.
I also had questions about the village.
Because it looked almost like a miniature, and they're like, no, just stand beside it. I'll shoot the camera so it makes it look like it's far away. It's about
perspective.
Yeah, and it did not accomplish that at all.
No,
looks like you could just step on it like Godzilla. Okay, and then he takes the baby in, and he's like, look what I got, and holds the baby up. And it names it Dar. The child learns how to fight and develops his ability to telepathically communicate with animals. So as a kid, Dar, now played by our friend Billy Jacoby from Just One of the Guys, and arguably one of the best things of that movie, he changed his name to Billy Jane.
Yeah.
Not a great change.
What are you going to do?
Billy Jane, not my lover. So in an odd one of many scene, Dar's dad, I say Dar's dad because I couldn't remember his name, so I went to look it up on IMDb, and it just says Dar's father. So
I don't think his character had an actual name.
No. And then one day he's training, and one farmer is, I guess, farming miles from home, and the dad throws it's called a caber, which is he calls it a caber, which is actually a weapon called a glaive. I looked that up. Don't pat me on the back. I totally looked it up. And he says, hey, Frank. Frank turns around, and Dar's dad whips that fucking thing, takes off his hat, and goes and pins it to a tree. And the farmer's like, you crazy bastard. And Dar and dad laugh. The guy goes to pull it off the tree, and he's sucked right into the bush.
Yeah.
That was actually not one of the better effects because it looked pretty cool.
That I liked, but also can we talk about the laughter that Dar and his dad did?
Oh, when
And how terrible it was?
when he almost
Yeah.
scalped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it almost sounded like they added the laughter after.
Maybe, but it was a lot of ha 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 ha.
It was
and I was like,
horrible.
oh God. That was terrible, guys.
I'm trying to. I'm sure. I'm many times during this. I'm like, what the fuck did you spend $9 million? This is $9 million in 1982. That's like $100 million today.
You know why?
I don't know what that it is, but
they had to go on location, right? So
Yeah.
then they also had a little bit of studio time. Because I'm pretty sure that scene with the bush where he gets pulled in, I'm pretty sure that's a set because that bush seems very full. I'm like,
Yeah.
that doesn't happen in nature. But a lot of it takes place out in like the desert or out in plains. So I was
Yes.
like, y'all went somewhere kind of, and you had to put up everybody in the crew and the cast, everybody. So that's probably where half the money went
Yeah,
to feed
probably.
and like for room and board for the cast and crew. Because there's no way it went to effects. There is no way it went to a story editor. There is no way it went to an editor.
No.
No.
There wasn't anybody doing continuity either.
Nope. They
Nope.
scrapped that role.
This grizzly comes out and we get to see Dar mentally talk to the bear. The bear
Mhm.
takes off and Dar's dad is like, don't tell anybody about this. He doesn't say why. Maybe they call him names at school or want him for every birthday party. But the dialogue, and a lot of times the dialogue went like when the next morning when Dar goes out to farm and he pauses and dad is like, Dar, and they pause and then they wave. And then Dar's like, Dad, and they pause. And then Dar laughs and waves. And his dad didn't say anything funny.
No.
Dad didn't say shit. And I'm like, who the fuck wrote this?
I was waiting for words. Also, because there's a time jump between this is your gift, don't tell anyone about it.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, Dar's an adult.
Yeah.
And apparently going out to the farm to like farm stuff.
Farm dirt by the looks of it.
And yeah, no shit, right? I was like, guys,
nothing there.
This is
just
bad,
hoeing
but
the dirt.
Yeah, pretty much. So when they had that conversation, I was like, is that all you're going to give me? This does not tell me that they have a super close relationship. This does not tell me that they love each other. This does not tell me that they hate each other. I don't know anything other than they can say bye.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that's it. They didn't even say the word bye. It was just like, Dar, father, done. Everybody walks away.
And everyone walks away. Years later, a fully grown Dar witnesses people being slaughtered by is it the Huns? Huns? Juns?
I always thought it started with a
Juns? The Jun Horde.
Yeah, okay.
A fanatic barbarian allied with Mayax. Okay, so yeah, he goes farm. This is one of the great battle scenes of the movie. From the amazing smoke or dust coming in from the north, signifying the horde is riding towards the village. I don't know if that was animation or what that was, but realism would it not be in its description.
No.
To the extras who it didn't matter if they were being sexually assaulted or massacred during this battle scene. Some of them looked like they were having a great time. Not being massacred or sexually assaulted. Let me clear that up. They looked like they had no experience in movies and they were having a blast. Knowing that
those
they
were
were
not
in a
actors.
movie.
Those were not actors who do extra work in between gigs. Like those were people who were like, oh, like they put up a sign at a community center and they were like, come be massacred. And everybody was like, okay, sounds like a good time.
Cool.
One thing I had a problem with this entire fight scene, everybody was doing lots of stabby and cutting, and that's fine. But every sword was clean.
Yeah, clean. And
there was no blood anywhere.
None.
People's shirts stayed intact. There were no cuts. I was like, what? Guys, give me something. Like just
Which
a little
begs
bit
the
of blood.
question, the fuck did your $9 million go?
Not to makeup. Well, actually, no. They spent all the money for makeup on the three witches.
Yeah.
And Rip Torn's nose. That's it.
Yeah, because when the horde first gets there, I love like all the old men just picking up their swords and their backhoes, and I love the old men were just as scantily dressed as the women, maybe even more so. They were old, they didn't give a fuck.
There are no pants. There are no pants amongst
No,
these
I don't think
people.
anyone wore pants in this movie.
Probably not. Actually, maybe the horde does.
And as this, maybe the horde does actually, yes.
Yeah,
and
I
as
think
this
they do.
battle goes on, I loved for no reason that these straw huts just started to explode.
Right?
Like they were hit with missiles. Just explosion after explosion. Like it looked cool, don't get me wrong, but I'm like, how the fuck are they exploding?
Also, because all of these huts were on stilts,
Oh, they look
my
so fake.
first thought, I'm like, because in the beginning, when Dar's about to go farming, he slides down a rope from
It
the
almost
top
looks
of the
like it's about to fall over.
Yeah, and I was like, why is there not a ladder or stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, because there weren't. Like it was just, I was like, do you climb the rope to get home? What do
That'd
the
be a
old people
bitch
do?
after a hard day's work.
Right? And then on top of that, they're on such high stilts. I was like, is there flooding? Like, why? This is not like 10 feet. These are literally like 30 feet in the air, 40 feet in the air.
It was high.
I was like, what? So then everything goes on fire. I was like, okay, fire makes sense.
Yeah.
It's all made of wood. Cool. Then all of a sudden the fire starts raging. And I was like, I don't think they have that many flammables. Then everything starts exploding.
Just exploding.
And I was like, okay, they don't have like a gas stove.
No.
They don't have gas lines. I highly doubt they have gunpowder just sitting around in vast quantities in each of. I was like, what the fuck is exploding? But now we know where the $9 million went.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna fucking explode some shit. And they're like, this is like set in like mythical times. I don't care. Yeah, but I was sitting there with a smile on my face, saying to nobody, like, how the fuck are these things exploding?
I loved explosions look good.
Yeah, I loved Dar's dog trying to pull him, and like it was so obvious he was being pulled by someone or something.
Yeah,
and then the dog got an arrow to the gut. Didn't
that
stop
hurt
him.
me. No, but I said, I was like, if that motherfucking dog dies, we got problems. Like I'm gonna fight you.
Well, he does die, but he
know.
drags Dar like 10 miles away. Like that dog really got him out of there.
Yeah, he worked hard.
Yeah, the Dar, the only survivor of the attack, journeys to Iraq to avenge his people. First, Dar collected all his village people, and put them in a pile. The last was his dog. That was not a dummy dog. They either killed that dog or drugged it. Actually, they drugged it. If there was a couple scenes where you see the dog's chest just heaving, breathing.
Yeah.
In time, Dar is joined by a golden eagle he named Sharak, a pair of thieving ferrets he names Kodo and Podo, and a black tire he names Rue.
Sure.
First, those two little ferrets steal his pouch. A long chase ensues. Dar falls into quicksand, and then talks to the ferrets, and they chew through a branch that falls down to help him get out. Dar gets out. Ferret goes in.
Yeah.
And as the ferret goes fully into the quicksand, I'm sitting there wondering, like, how many ferrets did they go through during the shoot? This is not the last time I have this question about the ferrets.
No, the ferrets get into everything.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm guessing that, yeah, there are more than one did not make it out of this movie.
Probably not.
Because yeah. Then he's in the desert on top of a giant rock with a log, swinging around in what I can only say is a transition from Village Boy to Beastmaster.
Sure.
Because
I was like, why is he swinging the log?
I had no idea.
I'm so confused. He has the sword. Why is he swinging the log?
Yeah, it wasn't like he didn't have the sword yet.
Right?
He had a sword.
He takes his father's sword. So I was like, dude. And then he starts walking, keeps walking, manages to go up a mountain / hill rock formation, whatever you want to call it, and then just starts swinging a log. But
later he's on top of another rock swinging his sword. Like, this fucker ends up on a lot of rocks just swinging his sword around.
He really likes climbing.
Yeah. I begin to think Dar can't really communicate with animals. He's on the spectrum. He just thinks he can communicate with animals, and he just likes climbing rocks and swinging that fucking sword around. Also, he sees the tiger being hunted. He helps out the tiger.
Yes.
And the tiger just hangs around Dar in case it can't find food, and he'll just eat Dar and the ferrets. Now, I did make a comment. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm watching this. I'm like, I don't think there's such thing as black fucking tigers.
There is. I Googled it.
But they didn't use black tigers in this movie.
I think they just put shoe polish on a tiger.
No, they used Lady Clairol. Lady Clairol.
Oh my God. They used like an at-home like hair color kit.
Yeah, and they said because it was the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is that whenever the tiger got wet or drank, it came off. And you could see
which
different
is
parts
why
where
the tiger had like a big white spot on the I was like, super cute tiger. But here's because I Googled, I was like, is there such a thing as black tigers? So I Googled it. There are black tigers.
Oh, okay.
But not like that. What happens is their stripes become thicker and darker.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So it's almost like they're all black, but they're not. There's a lot
they still
more,
have
like,
a lot white and orange in it. Yeah. Yeah. Their
So
stripes
I
are a
was
lot bigger.
Your real black tigers are super cute.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on hugging one. Don't worry. I'm not that kind of white woman. But I mean, I was like, this kind of black tiger is not a thing, but it's good to know that they went with the home hair care box color.
Yes. Yeah. And he just ran around with the tiger, and it was 1982 because that fucker would have been CGI'd if I was in it. Yeah. No. Dar meets a slave girl named Kira. Is it Kira?
Kira.
Yeah, he does. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he meets Tanya Roberts, Kira, boobs and all.
Yep.
Being bathed by another woman and her boobs under a waterfall. It was a magical scene. So innocent and full of wonder.
Want to hear something funny? When I first saw Tanya Roberts' boobs, my first thought was, Jimmy got his boobs.
Got Tanya Roberts' boobs. And I was surprised. Like, it's PG. I was not expecting boobies. No.
Yeah, boobies. There were boobies, my friends.
Yeah. Then Dar, that rascal, has Podo and Dodo, whatever, the ferrets, steal their clothing while he, I don't know, touches himself behind him. I don't know. He seemed pretty pleased with himself. A strange but unlikely turn in the movie. And then we get to see Kira's boobies a bit here and a bit there. The tiger is just sitting there, like she runs into, sees the tiger, and the tiger's like, "What's up?" And Dar's like, "Don't move. We must distract the beast or he'll eat us."
Okay, can I tell you? I think he was having a conversation with the tiger and being like, "Look ferocious." And he was literally pulling, because have you heard of this pickup setup?
No.
Where like one of your friends, if you're a guy, guys usually have done this. The guy who wants to do the pickup, right? He sends his friend over to be an ass.
Okay, yeah.
And then he goes in and rescues. I don't know the official name of it. I know it has a, like, that little game has a name. But when this scene came up, I was like, oh God, he just turned into a sleazy pickup artist.
Yeah.
While right after his entire village, including his father and his dog, got slaughtered, he's on a mission for revenge. And he's all like, I'm going to be that slimy pickup guy. Yeah. I was like, what?
He's the lust master.
He's the sleaze master. That's what he is.
Sleaze master. That's actually better. Yeah. Side note, we don't know what happened to the other slave girls. This is another running theme. Because, right, Kira is a slave girl, which makes her hotter.
Yes.
The imagination is amazing and wonderful thing.
Also, we all know how slave masters let their slaves just run around unattended.
Yeah. And just waterfalls in the middle
waterfalls
of nowhere.
And go for a little swim in the middle of the day, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, because slaves have so much freedom.
Because Dar is like, hey, come with me. And she's like, I can't. If I don't go back, they're going to kill my family.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it don't matter. I'll be your family. She says something like, I'm a slave girl. And when the half moon hits and the stars, I don't know. It's really stupid. I just look at her heaving bosoms. So this is how Wikipedia handles this encounter. Dar meets slave girl Kira before getting himself lost and ended up surrounded by eerie half bird, half human race. So
Can we talk about
they
that?
just we're right. Well, so before that, Dar goes to the city where we watch
Yeah.
old Gargamel throwing fucking children into a pit
Right.
as sacrifices. And if you're listening to this going, really? Yeah, he tosses a couple of them in the fire.
Literally tosses.
Yeah. One he lets slide down and she kind of stops
Yeah.
herself. So he grabs a stick and starts fucking
Poking
poking
her.
at her. Like, get in there, you little bastard. Like it's a clogged toilet. But Dar calls his eagle, who swoops down and grabs the child and flies off with it. And
Yeah.
let me tell you, it looks as good as an eagle grabbing a 10-year-old kid from a temple fire and flying off in the distance in 1982 on a set with no real concept of special effects as it sounds. It was
When I
horrible.
tell you, when they did that cutaway shot to the eagle with the kid flying in the sky, I was like, who did that? Please tell me they were fired. Because if someone said, yes, that looks great, I'm like, you didn't even have to show that.
Yeah.
You could have just shown, like the eagle claws, maybe a close up of the kid, throw some sky in the back, sure.
Yeah.
But I was like, why? You can't see anything. It literally looks like the eagle or the hawk is holding a flag. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. It's probably a blue
Like,
flag.
that's terrible. That's terrible.
Like a blue screen. I don't even know if they had that. I don't know. But yeah, it looked horrible. So Dar shows up at the house of the family who had their kid grabbed by an eagle and returns the kid. The father is grateful and says he's indebted to him for life. Anything you need, I'm there for you. What's mine is yours. And then continues to complain every time Dar asks him for help. Then Dar asks about Kira, the slave girl. The guy explains the sacrificing of the children, the horde, the king trapped in the temple. And Dar is like, yeah. What about the slave girl? Like, he has no interest in anything else. So this guy is like, they'll be leaving and traveling to a mountain pass and then to a river. Just so you know, listeners, this is the most blatant way this movie manipulates the story just to have an action set come about. Like, there's no once you get past this next scene, these next couple of scenes, there's no reason for these slave girls to be going anywhere.
Correct.
Like, they're supposed to be sacrificed at the fucking temple. I don't know if they're just going on a little vacation or a little stroll.
Who knows? Because nobody told us.
No. Okay, so back to Wikipedia. As the Birdmen worship eagles, they spare Dar when he summons Sharak and gives him an amulet. I remember the scene being so cool as a kid. Dar sees the cauldron and it checks it out. It's full of human body parts. The guy is up in a tree, hanging from a tree in a little cage. Only to see him walk and Dar lets him out. And then he runs into one of these hawkmen and it just oozes that stuff on the ground and opens up and lets the ball. The set piece here looked really good, like the cauldron, the cage hanging from the tree. I don't get that. There's such inconsistency of quality in this movie.
There is, but this one felt like a set. You know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
It felt like a theater set.
Yeah.
And I wasn't necessarily mad at that. However, what I was mad at was the hawkmen.
Yeah. I said the cauldron and the cage and the tree, and that looked all cool. I didn't say anything about the hawkmen.
No, that's a whole, but I was like, this feels very much, oh God, is it Hamlet that has the three witches?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Or was it Macbeth?
Oh, it might be Macbeth.
You see how long it's been since I fucking read Shakespeare? I should get on that. Anyways, it felt like three witches were going to show up and boil in trouble. God, somebody tell me if I got that right. Macbeth. Thank you. I was like, Hamlet, it's somebody who's a king. But anyways, yeah, it felt like that. I was expecting Shakespearean things to happen. They did not happen.
No.
The hawk people happened.
Yeah.
The giant, we look kind of like bats, but without any sort of nostrils or mouths or really ears or anything other than eyes. That looks superhuman.
Oh, you could tell they were a mask. Like, it was.
Yeah.
So.
It was, I was like, what? And then He wraps the guy, basically dissolves the guy in his wings. I was like, also super weird. And then I couldn't decide because from some shots, these birdmen look like they're 10 feet tall. And from some of them, they look average height. So I was like, which one is it?
Yeah.
Are they scary tall or not so much? And that is a question that will persist for the eons because we still don't know.
No. I'll admit that they looked a lot cooler when I was 10.
Mm.
Because when you go on a close-up, like, it's so... Like, even the Horde had black makeup around their eyes to kind of blend in with their black masks.
Yeah,
these guys did not. No, you could
it was
tell
just straight like, here's human eyes. And I was like, that's jarring.
And Dar calls his eagle, who squawks at them, and they give him an amulet, which does come in handy later.
Yes.
This is probably the only thing that resembled continuity in this entire movie.
Yes. Completely useless, but it was continuous.
Yeah. Dar soon arrives at a rock where Mayax had assumed total control with the Jun support. Mayax has taken, I got ahead of myself, taken the children of the townspeople and has sacrificed them to his god, A-R. After having Sharag save the child of the townsman named Sako, Dar learns that Kira is to be sacrificed. On his way to save her, Dar is joined by Zed's younger son, Tal. Zed is the king. Tal is his son, which makes him half-brother to Dar, and his bodyguard, Seth. So the tiger is helping Beastmaster. Actually, the tiger is actually doing all the work, and the Beastmaster is just watching through the tiger's eyes when those priests are out to kill him. Seth and Tal help the tiger, who gets trapped and just about shot with an arrow. Seth really just pushes him into the pit with the tiger, and the tiger does the rest. Then they help Beastmaster get the tiger out. Then they sit around and talk, and Tal plays with the ferrets, and Beastmaster shows them all the shit they stole, including that ring with the one the priest had that opens up, revealing the eye. That actually didn't look that bad.
No,
like, it
that
did
looked
look
pretty
creepy.
cool. I give them points for that one because that one I was like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, he gives him the ring with the eye, like the one on the poster. Dar gives it to Tal. So through the entire movie, Mayax sees, and I'm guessing hears everything. It would have been funny if you could only see and couldn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Gets a little pissy. Then Seth sees a piece of jewelry that belongs to Kira, and he's like, well, this is where Wikipedia mentions, and learns that Kira is Zed's niece. So that's right, listeners. That would make Kira Dar's first cousin. Spoiler alert, Dar don't give a fuck. And let's be honest, I wouldn't either.
It's okay. Kira don't care neither.
No. Yeah, my cousins are lucky they never look like Tanya Roberts.
Oh, God.
They'd be dreading family reunions even more than usual.
That is so gross.
I would argue John Amos Seth is probably the most scantily clad, dressed character in this entire movie.
They do enjoy showing his body a lot.
Yeah.
And I am not mad at that because a young John Amos, hey man, how you doing?
If you have a hankering for a little more John Amos, this is the movie for you.
Honestly, if you're like young John Amos, there you go, right here.
Yeah.
And he's always wearing a loincloth. His legs, his butt, his chest, always showing.
Everything always showing.
Just all out there. So I mean, if that's your jam, then this is the movie for you. Also, he's the only one that seems to be like a good actor in this.
Yeah, because Rip Torn seems to be having a good time.
Oh, he's having a great time.
I think Marc Singer is trying.
Yeah, Marc Singer is trying, but he doesn't have much to work with.
I don't think Tanya Roberts, I really wouldn't consider a great dramatic actor.
No. I mean, she wasn't super terrible. Also, she did not have a lot to work with.
No.
No. So, like, I feel kind of bad for everybody in this movie because I'm like, I can't tell how much of this is just you being a shitty actor and how much is the writing and how much is the directing. This is just terrible.
Yeah. Well, the three work to save her. Okay, so 5 slave girls leave the temple. where they are going to be sacrificed, and then they go to this mountain pass into this river. The slave girls and priests wait for the ferry crossing. Dar, Tal, who is really Dar's half brother, and Seth are in disguise and working the ferry. They reveal themselves and attack the priest. The tiger shows up again to help. Dar embraces Kira again and says, "Don't move." It does this whole shtick again. While I might add, doing the shtick as Tal, the kid, almost is killed, and Seth is doing most of the work.
Yep.
Oh, that Beastmaster.
Sleazemaster.
Yeah, some might say he's a one-track mind. He's a rascal. Now, they beat the priests. They're starting to cross the river again, and more priests show up. And I'm like, where are the other slave girls? Like, there were 5 of them, and I thought I missed something and rewound it, and no, they just
disappear.
Yeah, they're gone. And I don't even know why these new priests showed up. And they're introduced by an arrow hitting the dragon totem on the boat, the raft. Cool. There are 5 or so of these new priests carrying crossbows, and they all fire at Beastmaster and company. And I might also add, they are not that far out into the water, and they keep hitting the same fucking totem.
Yes, correct.
Like, that was the only thing they were aiming at. Like, they could have used sound effects like whizzing sounds and moved their heads out of the way, moving out imaginary arrows.
Also, they weren't that far away. So I'm like, first of all of the archers are really shit.
Yeah.
And then I think they were trying to pull up the anchor, whatever was on that big rope.
Yeah.
That they were trying to pull up that apparently nobody could do. And for some reason, they just let all of the priests shoot all of these arrows at them.
Yep.
Not cut the rope. Because they were like, just no, we're going to keep trying to pull it up. Like morons. And I was like, okay. So they finally cut the rope. They cheer.
Yeah.
They're still in the same spot.
Yeah. It's like, they can't shoot. We're shit.
Like, because they're not anchored anymore, all of a sudden they're immune to arrows. And I was like, who sat there and said this makes sense?
I think it was one of those ferries where it's connected one end to the other and you use the rope to pull the thing across. But I never saw the other,
there was no other side.
And there was no rope going out the other side.
I thought it was like that too. I was like, oh, it's probably one of those ferries where you pull on the rope and it pulls the ferry along. I thought that. And then I was like, it's not tied to anything on the other side.
No, there's no end to it. There's not even a rope going out.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, that rope must be the anchor, because that would make sense. So that's where my mind went, because I was like, that there must be a reason why they're fighting with this rope.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was like, I've decided it's the anchor. That's what I've decided.
Yeah. Okay. While Seth gathers their forces, Dar helps Kira and Tal infiltrate the temple and rescue King Zed. That's right. They go right back to the place they left. Seth is like, see you in 2 days. Beastmaster is like, you think he can find warriors? And Tal is like, if anyone can, Seth can. And I'm like, how the fuck? It took you fuckers the entire day to get down the river.
Yeah.
What are you gonna post it on Facebook? Sign up for ZipRecruiter? ZipRecruiter, because finding great candidates for your labor force can be like finding a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board and hope the right person comes along, or you can use ZipRecruiter, the Beastmaster of employee job search.
Oh my God.
I almost got through it. So they rescue King Zed. How? First, they sneak into the temple. Now, listeners, I'm guessing you're like, but Jimmy, that seems like it's going to be really hard. No.
Nope.
Barely an inconvenience. First, they hide in. This was awesome. They hide in Dar's buddy's wagon full of hay.
Yes.
His buddy whose daughter he saved from earlier. And again, he did not want to help them, but he did. Unfortunately, Max can see them in the hay because Tal is wearing the ring. How can he see them? You'd think the ring would only see the hay, but he sees them all clear as day sitting underneath this hay. Even the tiger.
Correct.
Now they are through the gate. Kira and her sexy boobies was a slave girl, so she knows all the hidden doors and secret passages, apparently.
Of course.
First, they come into this hall with like jail cell doors at the bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and you start to see some green eyes. And as the Beastmaster walks down the hall, these hands with spiked gloves come out of the cell bar, and they're trying to grab him, and they're growling.
Yeah.
Kira knew how to get in, but forgot all about these fucking monsters in the cell. No problem. Beastmaster jumps up to some conveniently hanging chains and shimmies his way right down the hall.
As you
do. Yeah, the monster's arms retract and they stop growling. So Tal and Kara are like, cool, guess it's safe now. And they start walking. He's like, whoa. Like, thank God the Beastmaster had some sense. He's like, are you stupid? Stop. Then he goes and starts turning some lever. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know that just doesn't open the cells? Like, you've never been here before. This movie is so, oh God.
There is no logic. This is a logic black hole.
Oh my God. Yeah. Luckily though, it shut the shutter things over the cells, so they were safe to walk across. They come to a hole in the floor and they see some priests below and are like, we need those keys to use to get the king out. So we use Frodo and Samwise Gamgee, the ferrets here, to steal them. I'm guessing they're master keys. Now, this was a stupid scene, of course, but it was humorous. One of the ones that actually were purposely humorous, as they were lowering the ferrets, Tal's explaining what the priests are doing. They are taking dudes, strapping them in some dominatrix outfit, putting a slug in their ear, and turns them into these mindless monsters who will stop at nothing to spank your bottom and burn your feet. They don't even listen to your safe word. But as the priest is putting the slug injector down, he turns and comes face to face with the ferrets. And he just screams, and the ferrets kind of squeal. That was actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
Dar drops them. The priest is trying to get the ferrets. The other priest is doing something and suddenly comes face to face with the mindless monster. He turns to his buddy and he's like, hey, Bill, you had one fucking job just before the thing kills him. Then he chases the other priest around the wild, kills him, and then the green-eyed monster starts chasing the ferrets.
Okay, can we talk about how he chases the ferrets?
Yeah.
The green-eyed monster?
Of course we can.
Because him running down the hall and him flailing his arms like he's a Muppet is the greatest thing. All I could see in my head was Grover. Near, far. It was...
I could just see first he's just kind of running and they're like, no, flail your more flailing.
You've got to look like you're trying to fight something. And he was like, okay, and he's just flailing his arms all over the place, and you're like, sir, you look stupid. Stop.
Oh yeah,
laughed at that part.
Yep. Oh yeah, that was good because he does it throughout this part of the movie.
Every time you see him running, just what?
Yeah, and then Kira's like, this way, and Beastmaster is like, finally, we're gonna do it. And she's like, I found the king, and he's like, nuts. They do find the king. I'm trying to remember because so much goes on and nothing really happens. But they find the king in a cell, and Dar's like, we need those keys, and Kira's like, it's unlocked. Like that's not a red flag. Oh, I can't stay mad at you, Tanya Roberts. They go in and the door closes and it's Gargamel, Mayax, and it's like, ha, I got you, Beastmaster. Meanwhile, the dominatrix is still chasing the ferrets who are running under doors. They're running through plumbing.
Yeah,
like
they're
actual
running
plumbing.
all over the place, yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't know why or how they had plumbing, but whatever.
Don't ask questions you don't need.
No.
You can't find the answer to because there are no answers.
No, you think someone would be like, you know what we could use plumbing for? Like water or bathroom waste. And they'd be like, shut up, Frank. Put more nipple clamps on those dominatrix monsters. And then I swear they were like, how do we get Mayax and the witch into a conflict with the Beastmaster after they got them trapped in a cell? And like a gaffer or something is like, have the tiger come around the corner and scare them in.
Pretty much.
Yeah, the continuity guy is like, that's stupid. And the director is like, that's brilliant. So the tiger, who was not with them after the gates, navigates himself through the hidden passages and corridors, and then chases Mayax and the witch into the cell with the Beastmaster. Oh yeah, the king is blind when they find the king.
He has no eyes.
No eyes. Not just blind, he has no eyes.
They took his eyes out.
Yeah, bastards.
That was jarring. I was like, oh, they like scoop those motherfuckers out.
And then Mayax is in there and he blows something in the Beastmaster's eyes, and Kira tries to kill Mayax, but he grabs the kid, who is just really useless.
Yeah.
The witch is climbing on the wall and the ceiling in an attempt to get a drop on Beastmaster, but he sees her through the eyes of the tiger, who's at the door just looking. And he runs her through with his sword. And how does Mayax get away?
I don't remember, because all of a sudden he wasn't there.
Yeah. Like Kira throws something and knocks the dagger out of his hand, and he runs away, and then the tiger comes through the door and he jumps down, and then he's gone.
Yeah.
And they don't even check.
No. They just walk away.
Yeah. Now they go to a room with a staircase that goes down, but there's a skull boulder blocking it. Kira turns a lever with ease, I might add, and the boulder's lifted up. She knew that, but she didn't know the hallway of dominatrix monsters. Beastmaster is like, you go, I'll hold them off. Then he tries to push the lever the other way. He can't budge it. I'm like, bitch, master. Then he chops off a faucet. I don't know why or how he thought this would work, but it does. The thing goes over the staircase again, and they're protected. The priest guys are banging at the door. The ferrets have led the dominatrix monster right to them, and he spanks the shit out of them. Some are screaming safe words like, the pineapple is hurting, or this banana doesn't split.
Marshmallow.
Yeah, marshmallow. Stop, I don't like it. Doesn't work. Then from behind, yeah. then from behind the boulder, Kira just appears back. I'm like, the fuck you come from? The Beastmaster doesn't even seem to be phased by it. Like, are you kidding? You saw her go down the stairs. It's covered with, and she just appears, grabs some rope, might I add, that was not there before, and it's perfectly coiled.
Of course.
I'm like, oh my God. Wow. Awesome. She's like, let's go at the air vent. I'm like, air vent? The fuck is going on? They go up. The monster is right behind them. Then he gets stuck, gets a phone call or something. Because they have enough time to tie the rope and start their descent.
Of course, yeah.
But there is the monster, and he starts smacking the rope, which have those stud things on it. So it's cutting the rope. Then they fall right into the back of his buddy's horse and wagon that's filled with hay.
But before the rope breaks, it was a hawk, I think, who went and like pecked at his head or pulled his head down.
That's right.
He fell out of the window.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
it snapped.
Apparently died. And then Beastmaster's like, go down. And Tanya Roberts did not move fast enough.
No.
Neither did Beastmaster. So they fell from they were only 10 feet from the window. So there. And then they fell into the rickety like thing, the hay thing. And then that was it.
That was moving. It wasn't just sitting there. It wasn't
just
moving.
Sitting there. It was moving. So my first question was like, how did that survive? Two grown-ass people falling into it, because it is rickety as fuck. And I was like, this is not like a sturdy wagon.
And I didn't see no kid in that wagon. I didn't see no king. I definitely didn't see the tiger.
Nope.
Yeah, then they say the gate is closed, and no problem. Dar takes out his ferrets and is like, get up there, you little bastards, and nibble those ropes. I'm not sure that's how gates pulley systems work. Like when they're closed, you just cut a rope and open.
Nope.
I was sitting there going, what the but whatever. Cheech and Chong, the ferrets, they go and start nibbling. Now they have a bunch of these dominatrix monsters coming towards them as they're waiting for the gate. The guard sees the ferrets and grabs one who doesn't stop nibbling. That's
dedication right there.
That's dedication right there. Yeah. And just as the guard's about to slice him, the other ferret sees him and jumps and bites his nuts. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
He screams, falls, cuts the rope as one would. Gate opens. They get through. They cut the rope again. The gate closes.
Yeah.
Again, I stress, I do not believe this is how gates operate, even in the olden days. But they crush the dominatrix monsters. perfectly. All three of them tried to walk through at the exact same time.
Correct.
And now it looks like we are back to Wikipedia. An obstinate Zed leads his forces to attack the city. Okay. Actually, they all meet Seth, who has gathered quite a few warriors. Shout out to ZipRecruiter. He's like, we are going to attack from here. Seth is going to attack from there. And Beastmaster is like, no, you must concentrate on the horde. And the king is like, who asked you, you freak? Get out of here. And then Seth sees the ring with the eye and pokes it with a stick.
That was cool too.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. And he's like, my king, Mayax definitely knows our plan. The king's like, fuck it.
We're going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a reason why that king was able to be held for so long.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't fight to get out. You were just like, it's kind of nice. I get 3 squares a day. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, he's fine. So if the king explained himself like that, like there was no real, there was nothing about his plan that this was the writing that the king was just going to attack.
Yeah. He was like, we're going to take 15 people straight at the gate. We're just going to go in.
Yeah. We're just going to, and it's going to work.
Then
we cut to Dar, who is like crying. Bitchmaster indeed. Then Kira appears out of nowhere again, and he's like, you want to come with me now? And she's like, I can't. I must stand by the king. Olden days suck. Despite the prudent warnings of Dar, who leaves the group in anger. Well, he didn't leave in anger. He was embarrassed and told to go.
Because when Kira says, no, I have to stay, he's like, okay, then I guess I'm staying with you. But then she doesn't stay with him.
No.
She's not like, okay, you stay over here. I'm going to go back where the fires are, where it's like warm and shit. See you in the morning.
Yep. Now they are all easily defeated and captured, and Dar decides to return to save them from being sacrificed. How? You guessed it. Goes right back to the fucking temple. And they were warned at the beginning of this movie to stay away from this temple, and they spend a lot of time at this temple.
Yeah.
They wheel Seth and Kira and Tal into the most flimsiest wagon I have ever seen. Beastmaster's friend, the coward, is there. Is like, their plan didn't work, and now they're going to be sacrificed. Of course they are. I can't believe I watched this as a kid and was just riveted. I think I'm on the spectrum.
Oh man. God. No, I'm telling you right now, autistic kids would not put up with this movie.
Oh no, they would have left 10 minutes into the stupid movie. In the conflict that follows, Mayax reveals Dar's relationship to Zed before slitting Zed's throat and facing the Beastmaster. I don't think you actually see him cut his throat.
He did not slice his throat.
No.
He took the knife down to his belly.
Yeah,
and sliced there.
Yeah.
I was like,
that's right, because I thought, that we're gonna have a heart-to-heart with Dad and son.
And then all of a sudden Zed just dies. And I was like,
dead.
You're not even gonna have like a my son moment.
I'm so sorry, my son.
I didn't know.
No.
You've grown to be a fine man. Something. Give me something. Nah. Sliced dead. Yep. What?
And before that, we had some of the most amazing choreographed sword fights. Like, remember when you were a kid and you took your play sword and you stabbed your friend and right between your arm and your stomach? So it looked like you ran him through. Yeah, like that.
It was very Errol Flynn. Like it felt like 1930s fighting action movie. And I was like, sir, there was like flipping over people's backs.
Slowly.
And you slowly, I was like, I like how everybody just waits. And they're like, oh, you want to? Okay, cool. Okay, now I'm supposed to parry and thrust. Fantastic. Let's do that.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome. But that one, because he kind of flipped over and his back was to the one guy and he kind of put his sword in behind him, but it was shot, so it looked like he just put it right through the guy's arm.
Yeah.
In between the arm and the chest, and like you did as a kid. It was awesome. Also, the only thing the Beastmaster seemed truly focused on during this whole fight scene was Tanya Roberts. If he rode into the temple, grabbed Kira, and rode away into the sunset, not freeing or helping anyone else, I would not have been surprised. Just-
Honestly, I was like, why are you so like boobmatized? I'm like, don't get me wrong, beautiful woman. But the whole reason he set out was to get revenge.
Yeah.
And then he's all like, oh, but
that
hey,
changed
Kira,
very quickly.
how you doing? I mean, we could just leave this all behind and me and you can go somewhere quiet, you know? Get
Because
to
he
know
was
each
willing
other.
to drop the revenge thing if she just ran off with him.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude.
He was
Little
all like, I don't
follow-through.
need to avenge my father or my entire village. It's fine.
Yeah, my dog.
My dog.
Yeah.
John Wick avenged his dog
Yeah.
with gusto, and he did not get distracted.
No, not once.
Beastmaster, failing in life.
Despite being stabbed, Mayax is revived by a witch, and when he attempts to kill Dar, Kodo sacrifices him to cause the high priest to fall into the sacrificial flames. I forgot about this, and I'll be honest, I was a little sad.
I was super
Like,
sad. I was
one-
like, no.
Yeah, one, the ferrets were cool. Two, I'm sure they just threw that ferret in the fire.
Yeah.
Like, you think they put a fire suit on a ferret? No, they probably paid another $1 and got another ferret. Grow up, people.
Well, no, they
Like,
probably had him had Rip Torn fall.
and
and
protect
then-
the ferret from fire.
Yeah. I don't think he fell into the fire. They probably, because you don't see him actually going into the fire. You see him going into the pit, and then you just see fire. You don't actually see what's in the fire. Because I was
No.
looking, because I was waiting for that ferret to crawl out, and he never did.
No, life's tough.
R.I.P.
Ferrets die. Be an adult.
I was mad about that though, because ferrets were my favorite part of this entire fucking movie, and I was like, "You're gonna kill a ferret? First you kill the dog, and now you're killing the ferret." Jesus.
Yeah, they killed the ferret. I forgot all about it, and I'm like, fuck, they killed the ferret. Now, did they kill the last witch?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And right by the barrel up on top of the thing. He ends
Okay,
up-
right.
'cause-
Yeah.
And then she poofs, and the coat
that's right.
falls. Or
The
cape.
victory is short-lived as the Jun Horde approaches Arak, arriving by nightfall to face the trap Dar and the people set for them, just putting sand over the moat. Tal is wounded as Dar succeeds in burning most of the Juns alive, while defeating their chieftain before the birdmen arrive, consume those remaining. Yes, the amulet. He gives it to the bird and it caws and flies away. The Horde arriving at the gate was very impressive. Not the wooden sticks they were holding, but
No.
the whole line of horses and men were pretty cool.
But we need to rewind a little bit, because when they're at the temple after they've, killed Mayax and R.A.P. Ferret, and Beastmaster grabs the ferret and walks halfway down. Did they say? Because I'm trying to remember, but I'm like, I can't remember anybody saying anything. Like, what are we going to do about the Horde, or what are we going to do about the June, whatever? Did anybody say that?
Yes.
Or did it? Yes.
Yes, they said one guy, they're like, we have to fight. And everyone was like, yeah. And then you had one guy, probably
Okay.
me, we got to run.
Yeah. And then someone says, do we fight or flee? And then they look at Tal. Tal looks at Beastmaster. Beastmaster's like, we fight. But nobody actually mentions who they're going to fight
Right.
or flee from. So I was like, who are we fighting?
Yeah, but you saw that dust cloud coming in the distance.
Everything is speculation in this movie. It's all in your own imagination. It's like a choose your own adventure.
Yeah. This ending wasn't totally bad. Like the fight with the main Horde guy wasn't that bad, actually. What was stupid was once the Horde rode their horses into the moat and the tar, it was as if they forgot they were going to set it on fire, because the one guy looked like, oh shit, that was my job. And he grabs like a flame and starts running, and they just shoot him with a bow and arrow. Then Tal, the kid, he grabs it and he gets shot with an arrow. I'm like, really? Not one of you thought to have an arrow ready to set on fire?
Thank you. A flaming arrow.
Yeah.
Flaming arrow.
Like that's all.
You can shoot from behind the wall.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Have a bunch of them. Hedge your
Out
bets.
in the open.
No. Yeah.
Also, the guy who was working the gate. Out in the just standing there.
Yeah. To a bunch of people that they call the Horde, because there are tons of them with arrows.
No, they're just all like, guys, it's okay. I'll just be standing out here waiting. And then, I'll eventually throw some fire on the moat. Not now, but eventually, maybe.
And Dar kills the leader. Then the Hawkmen show up and start eating everyone else.
Not mad about that.
No, the following day, Seth invites Dar to be the new king. But Dar explains that Tal would make a better king, and he leaves Uruk. Not only does Kira show up behind him out of fucking nowhere again, Dar is on top of a giant rock formation. Like, how did you not see her struggling and probably making grunting noises trying to get up the fucking thing? And what the fuck are you doing back up on top of a rock formation?
He has to look over the entire valley.
Yeah, I must think to the rock formation. Fuck. Starts swinging his sword around, lops off Tanya Roberts' head. Dar sets off into the wild with Kira, Ru, or Ra, Sharak, and Podo, who has given birth to 2 baby ferrets.
I forgot about the baby ferrets. The when they popped up, I was like, baby ferret.
And that is our movie. Wow. When the movie's bad, we talk a lot longer.
We really do, because there's a lot to go over.
There was a lot to unpack in this movie.
There was a lot to unpack.
All right. What is your score?
Skip it.
Skip it?
Unless, and the only reason I would say this, if you and your friends want to get drunk and watch a shitty movie to make fun of, this is your movie. There's more than enough material for you to pick it apart, to joke around, to, kind of make little jokes and catchphrases and go back and forth about. However, this is just a really bad movie. Like, it's not fun. It's not entertaining to watch. You're going to spend half your time being like, what the fuck? So unless you're purposely wanting to watch a movie to make fun of, skip this movie. Just skip it. What do you think? What's your rating?
My score. The Beastmaster is a bad movie, but it tries. It tries so hard. It is obvious that they intended to present a grand spectacle of epic adventure and swords play, and in 1982, maybe they did. I certainly remember it that way. Nostalgia is great. Mistakes are great. Dialogue is horrible. The acting varies wildly. They used a helicopter. It was quite obvious. They tossed ferrets into danger with haphazard neglect. They hair dyed a tiger. I'm sure the eagle took someone's eye out. They built miniatures and stood actors beside them to manifest the illusion of a great distance, and it looked ridiculous. Yes, the movie is bad, but I did have fun watching this. I had fun looking at Tanya Roberts' boobies. I had fun watching all the badness. The story is hard to follow because it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense. The action goes from one extreme to the next, play fighting with wooden swords to literally blowing up wooden straw huts for no reason other than just to do it. The magic of this movie to me is that everyone seemed to try or at least have fun. The magic of this movie is they really wanted to make an epic sword and sorcerer movie filled with adventure and fantasy, and they exceeded, just not in the way they planned. And I love that they tried. I love the abundance of action with no gore. I love the magic and monsters and them knowing their limits and saying, fuck it, we're going to do it anyways. Will I watch Beastmaster again? Not anytime soon. I will watch it, preferably, like we said, with someone. This would be a great watching it with a couple buddies and friends. I say this movie is so bad it's good. Everything about it screams horrible, and everything I watch reaffirms it. Yet it was fun. Buy it, hang a poster on your wall. Use said poster to create a van art mural that will make all the other Dodge Caravan owners jealous with envy. If we had a budget, I would have done that.
Of course you would.
We have a Dodge Caravan for all the kids. I would have done it just for this podcast. Yeah.
Your poor children. Your poor children.
That would be awesome.
See,
right.
I think if this movie didn't have as many villains and had just chosen, like if it just had one villain and it rode through with that, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah.
Down. I can deal with that. Like, it would have been a much, much better. Also, if the Beastmaster never became the Sleaze Master, I'd be way more into this movie, but there was just too much for me.
So it doesn't make you want to see part 2?
No, not even a little bit. Although I did watch the TV show, I thought that was cheesy goodness. I don't remember it now. I might have just watched it because of like the lead actor was hot, but
Yeah, he was a daytime soap opera actor, wasn't he?
yeah,
Yeah.
and Australian.
Yeah.
Very attractive man.
All right. So this is our YouTube show. So we do a little bit more. This does not go in the podcast. So I have some trivia.
Oh Lord.
Beastmaster trivia. You can start and we'll just take turns. Can you see all that?
Yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. On Marc Singer's first day of filming, Billy Jane, at the time his last name was Jacoby, was filming the scene where young Dar first learns that he could control animals. The bear happened to be a Russian bear, and the only bear working in Hollywood at the time. As soon as he came out, the bear broke loose and attacked his handler, sending the rest of the crew fleeing into nearby vehicles for safety. As soon as the bear was recaptured and the handler was carried off for medical attention, the crew turned and told Marc that they were ready to film his scene.
They carried the handler off for medication.
They're like, we're going to take him to the hospital, but we're good to shoot now.
I'd be like, I hope it's not with the fucking bear. All right. The eagle often refused to fly on cue. To shoot footage of it in the air, it was dropped from a trap door in a hot air balloon. On a note that might be of coincidence, the producers fired the original animal trainer in the middle of the filming and hired another one. I'm guessing because that trainer was like, you can't fucking drop a bird of a hot air balloon. And they're like, fuck you, you're fired. I will hire a yes man.
Producer Dino De Laurentiis liked the movie and offered Don Coscarelli to direct Conan the Destroyer, 1984. Coscarelli declined because he thought the script was bad.
He thought that Conan the Destroyer script was so bad compared to his movie that he refused to direct it, which makes me really want to see Conan the Destroyer.
Honestly, it's been a really long... I remember watching Conan. And
Conan, the first one I remember liking, and as a kid, I remember liking Conan the Destroyer. Later, it has a bad rap for being a very inferior movie to the first one. And if Don Coscarelli thought that the script was so bad, I'm like, ooh, I gotta see this movie.
This is, oh God, I love that.
Oh, the film performed only modestly at the box office, but it built a strong cult following over the years. In the US, it was replayed frequently on TV, notably HBO and TBS. It was shown so often that some dubbed TBS the Beastmaster station and HBO as, hey, Beastmaster is on.
Tanya Roberts' role as Kira led to her being cast as Stacey Sutton in A View to Kill, 1985. 2 years later, Tanya Roberts would later star as Sheena in Sheena, 1984, in which her character can communicate with animals. Going full circle.
I wonder if it's better than Beastmaster. Can't be any worse.
Are you sure about that?
No, not at all. About 25 ferrets played Kodo and Podo. Ferrets can't really be trained, so they were often baited with food to go or look where needed. 4 tigers played Roo. The main one was named Kipling.
It's a solid British name.
25. Why would you need 25 ferrets if you weren't just killing them?
Probably because they couldn't control them, and they're like, wait, this one's better if you give him a piece of jerky.
They probably like, that one's not coming back. He just took off.
He's gone now.
Yeah.
Director Don Coscarello originally wanted black leopards to portray Dar's big cat companions, but the animal trainers told him leopards are very skittish and notoriously hard to work with. When they suggested using tigers, he commented that he didn't like the stripes, so the trainers agreed to dye the tigers. Cases of Lady Clairol hair dye were kept on set for touch-ups. Despite this, the dye often washed off in spots and stripes showed through in certain lighting.
Just dyeing the tigers. 18-year-old Demi Moore auditioned several times for the part of Kira and was the original choice of director Don Coscarelli, but eventually lost out to Tanya Roberts when the executives overturned Moore's pick. Wonder
Don
how that happened.
Coscarelli. Probably her boobs weren't as big.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of Demi Moore in the 80s. She would have been super young, I think.
Yeah. Well, she was just 18.
Yeah.
And this was before almost anything I can remember her being in.
Yeah. She
Like,
always looked really young, though.
One Crazy Summer was 86.
Yeah. I remember her mostly from like probably St. Elmo's Fire.
Oh, that would have been 85, I think.
Yeah. I think it was.
So there's a few years before that.
God bless. Don Coscarelli sold off his rights to the story and characters. He has no involvement with the sequels or the TV series and doesn't get any money from them. He's kicking himself now.
Yeah. I don't know how much money he lost, though.
Not that much.
Probably not. In a deleted scene, Kira has sex with Dar after he's banished by King Zed. It was so cold that night that as soon as the director yelled cut, crew members rushed in to cover Tanya Roberts with blankets. I bet they did. I would have been the first there. I would have tackled her.
Dude,
Covered.
They couldn't have let them do the sex scene in like a cave or something next to a roaring fire?
On top of a rock where Dar was sitting, where he always goes to think. Oh
my God.
Apparently, I'm like, you could make a director's cut.
Yeah.
He kept the actual prints, the original prints, in a house and forgot about them. The house was sold and no one knows where they went.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Don Coscarelli sold off his rights to the story and characters.
I did that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you did. It's okay.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. So that is it for the Beastmaster.
Let's put this one to bed.
Whew. That's a bad movie.
So terrible.
All right.
so
So
we
I
have-
remember like that movie. We have two more movies that we watched. These are newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with the one that you picked.
Ricky Stanicky.
Ricky Stanicky.
It felt super ridiculous from the trailers that I had seen and from the promos that I had seen. And I was like, I'm feeling like watching something super ridiculous. I want to laugh. So it stars Zac Efron, John Cena, Andrew Santino, and Jermaine Fowler. Those are the main four. Also, William H. Macy is in it. And he does have some funny scenes, I'm not going to lie. But basically, it's a story of three friends who, when they were kids, created kind of a scapegoat friend, an imaginary friend, who they presented as a real friend, Ricky Stanicky. And they have used him for the last 20 years, either to get out of trouble, to go on trips, as a cover story for things. Now, it all starts to culminate at this one thing, because one of the friends, played by Andrew Santino, he misses his child being born.
That was funny.
To go to a concert in Atlantic City. Now, while in Atlantic City, they met Rod, who was a trained actor, according to his card. And when they get back from Atlantic City, they kind of get painted into a corner where everybody's like, we want to meet Ricky Stanicky because he's been here. So shit happens. Rod steps up to the plate. They ask Rod to play Ricky Stanicky for a weekend. They're like, you just show up to the bris, you say hello to people, kind of have a little conversation, and then you're gone because you're flying back to Nairobi to do your nonprofit work. John Cena comes up, he plays Ricky Stanicky, and then more complications ensue. We'll leave it at that. There's a lot of stuff that happens, just in case someone wants to watch it. I did laugh at some points, but it wasn't as funny as I wanted it to be. Kind of made me a little bit sad. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it either. There were some laughs and some great scenes. John Cena dedicates himself to his character. Like he's in it to win it. And I'm like, God bless. I love your dedication. The whole cast has great on-screen presence. I laughed not as much as I would have liked, but there were a few good laughs. Overall, it fell a little flat, but it wasn't too bad. So it's not like a total waste of time. it's not going to go into my regular like rotation of rewatches, but I'm not mad I watched it, and it did have a few good laughs. And William H. Macy is fantastic in it. John Cena is fantastic in it, and Jeff Ross is amazing. He plays the rabbi.
Yeah, he was funny.
So good. Did you get to watch it?
I did get to watch it. I appreciate the fact that this is an actual R-rated comedy. Was it rated R? Yes, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. The story was actually clever and fun. I like the little kids part of this movie.
Oh God, it was so great.
Using the fake friend to take all the blame and continuing right into their adulthood. The acting was fine and funny at parts. The highlight being John Cena. If this doesn't get him more comical parts, I don't think I haven't seen all John Cena's movies, but he deserves more comedy. He was good. So good.
Yeah.
His comedic timing was amazing. William H. Macy was good. Andrew Santino was good, although I would have rather a little more douchiness, but I like his dynamic with his wife and the baby. Zac Efron was the straight guy, and so really was Jermaine Fowler. Yeah, and they had some laughs, I guess. Like, I read the review that was more or less, in today's climate, this movie is a 7 out of 10. If it was made 10 years ago, this would have easily been a 5. It's maybe a 5.5. I liked it. I chuckled. I didn't howl. It fell flat overall, but I am so glad that they are trying again. This is worth, to me, a one-time stream. Like,
oh yeah,
talk a bit about it with the friends, maybe sing one of the John Cena masturbation songs, and then it's forgotten, never to be streamed again. One-time stream.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
It's not horrible.
It's not terrible. Great. They tried to throw like a moral lesson in there, and I was like, cool, good for you.
Definitely felt like a Farley's Brother movie.
Yeah,
just not their best or his best.
No.
I think it's just the one that did this one.
No, but if you want to watch John Cena go balls to the wall and just like, because I was like watching it, I was like, damn.
Yeah, he does a good job.
He's just I was like, wow. And he's done some comedy before. Yeah. More recently, he's done a few more. They're letting him do it because I remember. I think the first movie I ever saw John Cena in was it The Marine? I think that was his first movie.
I think it was The Marine Part 2 or something.
Yeah, it was terrible. He was terrible. Like, you can tell he's been doing his lessons. He's been doing his acting classes, and he's been doing improv. And I was like, he killed it in this movie.
Yeah, he was definitely the highlight.
He was definitely the highlight. So, I mean, and now I know what air dicking means.
That was awesome.
Right?
That was good.
Yeah. Oh my God. What was the other movie, my friends?
Damsel from Netflix. Okay, so yeah, this was my pick. Go figure. I am not the target audience of Damsel. I am, however, the father of a bunch of girls who are the target audience of Damsel, and they loved it. And really, at the end of the day, because I had to watch it with them, it was well shot. It looked good. It was well acted, like not just from what is her name? I'm sorry, Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah,
she was good in it, but Ray Winston was in it. He was the dad. Robin Wright was the queen. And actually, Robin Wright was really good in this as the bad guy, the villain.
Oh yeah.
Who was the voice of the stupid dragon?
Okay, I'm gonna try it, and I'm very, very sorry. Shohreh Aghdashloo. She is a Middle Eastern actress, and you have seen her in so many things. She's usually playing the boss bitch who like has a handle on everything, and she's teaching you lessons. You've heard her name, you've seen her face, you've heard her voice. Very, very distinctive. I realized who it was after the dragon talking for a bit. I was like,
yeah, because I did recognize the voice was, yes, I do know. She's in The Expanse, the TV show Expanse. Yeah. She plays the president of America.
Yeah.
That's my nerd fact there. Yes. I knew her voice. And it bugged me so bad. I guess I could have just went and looked at IMDb. But no, Basically, the movie, she comes from a part of the world where everything is falling apart. Their people have nothing. They get this great offer to marry this prince, and they later find out that there's a story behind it where there's sacrifices, and she must fight for her life. The action was actually real. A lot of the times when I sit down with my girls to watch a movie, it sucks. I did not like Barbie. I did not like actually almost every movie that we sit down and watch. I'm not a huge fan of them. This was very easy to get by. Yeah, I actually I liked it. It was
Yeah.
I don't know how well it's doing the reviews. It's not an award winner. It's not that. It's just an action film, an action family film for older girls, for older boys. It's not for young kids. My 6-year-old didn't watch this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let her watch it. It had some pretty, like, some of the action scenes were really well done, and there was a lot of moments where it was kind of creepy, kind of scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And as far as I know everyone loves Barbie. I didn't care for it. I didn't hate it. And again,
Yeah.
it wasn't for me. It
That's
was
true.
for other people who loved it. Just like the Beastmaster isn't for everybody, but I liked it.
True story. True story.
What did
See,
you
I
think
liked
of Damsel?
Barbie. Damsel is the kind of princess movie I can get behind. Because you know what? This is a woman who is, I guess, aristocratic. We'll go with that. Her dad's either a lord or a king or something. She gets basically sold off to marriage so that her people can eat. And she's like, cool. But she's like, I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to make the best of it. Her stepmother's the one that clues in first and is all like, yo, something's hinky here.
Yeah.
Like something's not right. And dad's all like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. The action was great. The dragon looked so fucking cool. I loved that it starts as like, you see her as a capable person at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so it wasn't a total surprise that she.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, you're going to fight. She was still, kind of like, I'm not a dragon slayer, yo. So this is not my thing. But I liked it. I liked it so much. And I love, spoiler alert, I love that there's satisfaction at the end.
Yeah.
I love that she gets revenge.
And I think a lot of some of the reviews are like, they really down the ending, but I'm like, again, this is for young people. It's for girls. It's for families.
Yeah.
I like the ending. It is a fairy tale. I know that the poster said this isn't a fairy tale, but it is a fairy tale. It's a well-told one. It looks done and it's acted great. No, I was really surprised. Would I watch it again by myself? No. Would I watch it again if my kids like, we're watching Damsel again, which has happened? Yes, I will sit and watch it. I didn't watch it the second time I watched it. I will watch it again. I wouldn't be, oh my God, we're watching this again. No, this movie was pretty good. I liked it. Yeah, I was really surprised. It's fun.
I have seen this kind of go bad where they do almost like a fairy tale or princess story that's a little, it's supposed to be a revamping, but you're just trotting out the regular stuff. But I was like, I liked this movie because it showed, this young lady who was like, I'm responsible, I'm capable, I'm gonna figure this shit out. I don't need to be rescued. And then I'm going to burn the world to the ground because they fucked with me. And I was like, amen, hallelujah, praise Jesus. Because I'm tired of people being forgiving. No. I want you to burn shit to the ground. And she did it. And I'm so proud.
Yeah.
So proud. Also, fun fact, because when I was watching it, when they're walking through the castle in the new kingdom where she's being married off, I was like, that looks super Portuguese. That was my first, I was like, that looks super Portuguese. So I Googled it. And apparently the exteriors, when they're in the castle, were shot at various Portuguese palaces in Portugal. Most of it was done in a studio in London. And then the exteriors were done at various locations in Portugal at various palaces. And I was like, look at that. Look at me recognizing my people's places.
Yay, Portugal.
Yay, Portugal. It was very distinctive. I was like, that looks super Portuguese. But yeah, no, that was a nice little bonus to this. But yeah, no, I really liked it. Am I going to randomly pick it when I feel like I'm in the mood to like watch a movie? No. Am I going to put it on when I need to get some work done and I want something in the background that I enjoy? Yeah. I put that in the rotation for this. But yeah, overall it was pretty good. And IMDb gave it, I think, 6.2 out of 10. It's sitting at 6.2.
I think that's kind of low.
I think it's a little low too.
Yeah, I thought it was, for what it is, it was way more than what I expected.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know what to expect. I expected a fairy tale, and here we go. And I expected, see, Rotten Tomatoes only has that 57, but audiences are at 71. I'd skew towards more of the audience. Yeah, because I did like it.
You know what's funny? I didn't really want to watch this because I'm too used to these kind of movies where they have usually a female protagonist with having very unsatisfying endings. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. I'll watch it. But I watched I watched Damsel, then Ricky Stanicky, then Beastmaster. And I did that purposely because I was like, Beastmaster, I want to be the freshest. Ricky Stanicky, I was like, I feel like that'll be, because that was my pick. I was like, I want to watch that. So I was like, I'll watch Damsel first. So just in case I get really disappointed by it, I'll watch Ricky Stanicky. That'll make me happier. Then I watched Damsel and I was like, God, this movie's really good. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. Then Ricky Stanicky, I was like, you're not as good, but John Cena killed it. So I was like, you're a funny one, John Cena. And then I was like, Beastmaster. And I was like, why did I do this? Also, I watched Beastmaster on Dark Matter TV and they have so many commercial breaks.
Yeah, see, I just rented it on Apple.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not paying money for this. I'm not doing it. I got done fucked up with Whiteout. I'm not going to do it with Beastmaster. I'm not paying for this rental if I don't have to. But yeah, no, I thought Damsel was a good pick. I thought Ricky Stanicky is good for one watch. I don't think anybody's going to sit there and go, Ricky Stanicky is, genius, but
no,
it was a fun little watch, and it's great to watch John Cena like that.
Yeah, no, he was awesome. He was the highlight of this.
So good.
Movie. Yeah,
so good.
Absolutely. And I only watched Damsel because my girls were like, Damsel's on this weekend. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. I guess I'm watching Damsel.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Damsel.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. All right. So that was the Beastmaster.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. And until the next movie we remember liking.
Should we tell them our plans for next week?
Oh, next week on here we are doing a double feature of Roadhouse 1989 and 2024, and we are going to be on Thursday night.
Yes,
so we're gonna watch
Roadhouse the day it comes out.
Yeah,
because we're that Looney Tunes for it. Because Roadhouse.
Yeah, you're Looney Tunes for it. I'm the mullets in the 80s. But I did remember it being cool. I remember watching it as a kid going, that's awesome.
I loved Roadhouse. It's been a long time since I've seen it, so I'm a little concerned, as I always am before we go watch something that I remember loving. But the new Roadhouse looks similar enough while still being different enough that it's not just a straight remake.
No, I'm excited about seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm expecting.
Yeah, I highly doubt Roadhouse 2024 is going to be nominated for Best Writing Oscar.
I'm
going to throw that out there.
I'm just looking for barroom brawls and explosions and
also I kind of want to see Conor McGregor.
I like Conor McGregor.
Yeah,
he looks exactly like he does before he has a fight. He's just mouthing people off and then kicking the shit out of them.
Yeah, he's kind of a jackass, and I like that about him.
Yeah, he's so much fun to watch. Yeah.
So I'm hoping it really, like, I've seen the clips. It looks entertaining, but I'm really hoping that sustains itself throughout the entire movie. So yeah, next Thursday is when we're going live.
Thursday 9 o'clock.
Yeah, Thursday, March
Roadhouse.
21st at 9 o'clock. We're doing some Roadhouse. Please, everybody, join us. Because Roadhouse. I really want the original to be good still.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah.
All right. Till the next movie we remember liking, which is Roadhouse.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.